Today, I invite you on a journey into the heart of a long-forgotten order, a story of pain and promise woven deep into the lands between. In this tale, we explore how the mysterious Greater Will, a force beyond mortal understanding, chose a single soul to lead a new age of order. That soul was Marika, a world where every shadow whispers a secret, and every glimmer of light tells a story of both joy and loss. Here, in the dark expanse of the lands between, chaos and beauty dance together in a slow and haunting waltz. The rise of the Golden Order is not merely a tale of divine power. It is a story of sacrifice, of bitter sorrow mixed with hope, and of a promise that even the deepest wounds may someday heal. But before we speak of Marika and her divine destiny, let us step back and recall the history that came before. In the early days, the lands between were wild and free, a place where nature ruled without restraint, where every tree and every stone carried the echoes of ancient magic. Life here was raw, unpredictable, and sometimes heartbreakingly fragile. Yet even in that chaos, a faint glimmer of order shimmered, hidden beneath the unyielding darkness. It was during these troubled times that the Greater Will, an unseen force of mystery and power, looked upon the world with sadness and determination. It saw that the endless cycle of suffering and strife needed to come to an end. Out of countless souls, the Greater Will reached out and chose one, a soul that could bear the burden of both light and darkness. That soul was Marika, whose heart was marked by loss but still burned with a quiet, persistent flame. As we wander through this story, keep in mind that every tear, every broken promise is a thread in the grand tapestry of fate. For in the lands between, nothing is ever as it seems, and every ending hints at a new beginning. Long, long ago, before time was carefully measured and kings held court, the world of the lands between was raw, untamed, and wonderfully wild, a place where endless forests stretched to meet towering mountains, where mighty rivers carved their own chaotic paths through vast, unyielding landscapes. In those early days, the world was not ruled by order or law. Instead, nature reigned supreme in all her unpredictable glory. Every rustle of leaves, every gust of wind, and every drop of rain whispered secrets of a time when magic was as common as the air we breathe. In that primal wilderness, every creature, no matter how small, had its part to play in the grand tapestry of life. The earth itself seemed to pulse with an unending rhythm of birth and decay, a fierce joy intermingled with deep sorrow. Life and death danced together in a wild embrace, and every sunset marked both an ending and a promise of a new dawn. Yet, even in this chaotic splendor, a quiet yearning existed, a yearning for balance, for something more than the endless struggle against nature's wild impulses. It was during this time of chaos that the unseen force we call the Greater Will began to stir. Not a god in the way we might imagine, but a vast, mysterious presence woven into the fabric of every living thing, a spirit of the land that watched and waited, feeling the pulse of life, the heartbeat of sorrow, and the raw, untamed energy of creation. As the storms raged and the rivers roared, the Greater Will looked on, its ancient eyes seeing not only the fury of nature, but also the seeds of hope that lay hidden among the ruins of endless conflict. For all its wild beauty, the world was a place of hardship. The people who dwelt there were like fragile sparks struggling against a vast, engulfing darkness. They lived with little more than their own will, their hearts heavy with pain, yet resilient in the face of the relentless forces around them. The land itself bore the scars of an age of constant battle, wounds etched in stone, and memory that spoke of days when chaos ruled without mercy. And then, as if by fate's design, a new light began to break through the dark canopy. Amid the tangled, feral beauty of that ancient world, a young soul emerged, a soul whose eyes, though filled with sorrow, also shone with a quiet, unyielding hope. This soul was Marika. Born into a life of quiet suffering and hidden strength, Marika was a beacon amid the darkness, a gentle flame that could not be snuffed out by the fury of the wild. She was as delicate as a blossom, yet carried a resolve as unyielding as the mountains around her. In those early days, and before the golden light of order washed over the lands between, the people knew only the hardships of survival. But even then, deep within the chaos, there lay a promise that one day a guiding force would rise and bring harmony to this restless land. This was the world Marika inherited, a world of wild beauty, ceaseless struggle, and quiet dreams. From the endless turmoil of nature's fury the Greater Will began its search for a vessel, a soul capable of bridging the immense gap between chaos and order. It looked upon the living world, feeling the pain of the earth and the sorrow of its people, and in that vast echoing silence, a choice was made. The Greater Will reached deep into the very heart of creation and chose Marika. It was not by force or decree that she was selected, but by the quiet radiance of her inner light. Marika's heart, though weathered by hardship, shone with the promise of renewal. In her, the Greater Will saw not just a survivor, but a guide, a gentle force that could steer the wild energies of the world into a path of order and grace. She was like a fragile bud in the midst of a raging storm, destined to bloom into something magnificent even as the winds howled around her. This divine choice was both a blessing and a burden. For Marika, it meant stepping into a role that demanded immense sacrifice, a role that required her to face the deepest sorrows of her people and to transform them into something that could mend the broken spirit of the world. The path ahead was shrouded in darkness and uncertainty, but also aglow with the promise of a new beginning. As the Greater Will whispered its ancient truths into Marika's soul, the people began to sense a change. The wild, untamed chaos that had once reigned began to waver, replaced slowly by a glimmer of something brighter, an order born of both pain and hope. Temples were raised, runes carved in stone, and the once untamed colors of nature began to blend into a radiant golden hue. Yet this light was harsh, a beacon that exposed every hidden wound and every scar from the old world. It was a light that promised both healing and sacrifice. Marika's destiny was not an easy one. The divine choice thrust her into the center of an epic struggle, one that would forever alter the fate of the lands between. It was a call to embrace the sorrow of the past, and to use it as the foundation upon which a new order would be built. The Greater Will had chosen her not only for her inner strength, but for her capacity to transform pain into hope, chaos into a golden order. Her journey would be a constant battle, a delicate balancing act between the wild energies of nature and the strict, unyielding rules of the new order. In her eyes, the flickering reflections of countless lost souls could be seen, each one a reminder of the cost of transformation. And yet, in each tear shed and every hurt she endured, there lay the promise of a better tomorrow, a world where order and chaos would dance together in a never-ending waltz of renewal. Marika's choice, though divine, was not a guarantee of peace. The long road ahead was filled with trials that would test every fiber of her being. The people of the lands between had to learn to live with the new order, a strict, golden regime that demanded sacrifice and discipline. The road was rugged and uncertain, winding through crumbling ruins and dark, forgotten corners of the world, where the echoes of ancient battles still whispered in the wind. Every step on this road was a challenge. The wild energy of the past, though gradually subdued by the golden light, still stirred in the depths of the earth and in the hearts of those who remembered a time before order. The journey demanded not only physical endurance, but also a deep inner strength, a willingness to confront sorrow head-on and to transform it into a force for renewal. For many, the path was lonely and filled with quiet despair. They watched as the wild, vibrant beauty of the old world faded into strict discipline and unyielding rules. Yet beneath that seemingly harsh exterior there lay a flicker of hope, a stubborn spark that refused to die. The road ahead was also a lesson in the price of progress. As the golden light spread, every victory was tinged with loss. The ancient, untamed spirit of the land did not vanish overnight. It left behind scars, wounds that would take generations to heal. Marika knew that the long road ahead meant enduring these pains, learning from each hardship, and slowly building a future that honored both the beauty of chaos and the promise of order. In this long journey, every person had to make a choice, whether to cling to the remnants of the old wild ways or to embrace the new, disciplined path. Some found comfort in the stability of the Golden Order, while others mourned the loss of the untamed freedom they once knew. The road was not merely a physical passage, but a transformation of the soul, a passage from sorrow to hope, from despair to renewal. Marika herself walked this road with quiet determination. Every step she took was a reminder that the sacrifice of the past was the seed of tomorrow's promise. Her eyes, though filled with sorrow, shone with a steadfast resolve to mend the broken world, even if it meant embracing pain as a necessary part of growth. As you listen to this story, imagine yourself on that long, winding road. each footstep heavy with memory, each breath a mixture of sorrow and hope. Picture the landscapes, the ancient ruins bathed in golden light, and the faces of those who carried the weight of their past like a cloak. The long road ahead was a shared journey, a journey of countless souls united by the desire to build something better from the shattered fragments of their world. It was a journey that demanded resilience, sacrifice, and above all, an unyielding belief that even the deepest wounds could heal. Yet, as the Golden Order began to rise, a truth remained immutable in the lands between, the truth of the endless cycle. No matter how bright the golden light shone, or how much order was imposed upon the chaos, the ancient cycle of life, death, and rebirth continued unabated. This cycle, as old as time itself, reminded every living soul that nothing truly ends, it only transforms. In this new world, every victory was born from countless losses, and every act of creation carried within it the seed of inevitable decay. The Golden Order did not banish chaos, it merely tamed it for a time. Life flowed in a constant, ceaseless rhythm where sorrow and joy, pain and hope danced together in an eternal waltz. The cycle was not something to be feared, but something to be understood, a natural law that governed all things. Even as the people embraced the promise of renewal, they could not ignore the bittersweet truth. Every moment of order was a fleeting gift, and the shadows of the past would always linger. The ancient scars of the wild world, though slowly fading, would never completely vanish. They served as a reminder that every new beginning was built upon the ruins of what had come before. Marika's journey, filled with hardships and small triumphs, was a testament to this endless cycle. With every step she took to restore hope, the old wounds of the lands between were stirred up once more. The cycle was eternal, each loss feeding into the promise of rebirth, each tear paving the way for a new dawn. It was a dance without end, a cycle of creation and destruction that shaped the very essence of the world. For the people of the lands between, this endless cycle was both a curse and a blessing. It was a source of constant sorrow, for nothing ever remained the same. And yet, it was also the wellspring of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, a spark of light could ignite the promise of a new day. The cycle taught them that pain was not an end, but a beginning, that every ending was simply a prelude to another chance at life. As you reflect on this story, remember that the endless cycle is not just a part of an ancient legend, it is a truth that echoes through every moment of our lives. In our own struggles and sorrows, there is always the potential for renewal. The eternal dance of light and shadow, of order and chaos, teaches us that hope can rise from even the deepest despair. It is a reminder that every loss, every tear, is part of a grand tapestry, a tapestry that weaves our stories into an eternal narrative of life, death, and rebirth. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the ancient tale of the Golden Order, the story of the backstory and setting, the divine choice that led to Marika's destiny, the long and arduous road ahead, and the endless cycle that binds all life together. This story teaches us that even amid overwhelming sorrow and ceaseless struggle, hope can be born anew. It reminds us that every moment of darkness holds the promise of light, and that every ending is just the beginning of another chapter. If you found meaning in this tale, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support helps us share these stories of hope, sorrow, and renewal with more souls seeking light in the darkness. And if you'd like to help us create more content like this, please consider donating through our Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Every little bit of support is deeply appreciated and makes a world of difference. Remember, even in the darkest nights, the light of hope burns on. Stay safe, keep dreaming, and never forget that even the deepest wounds can heal with time.